about how ectotherms are adapted to cold environments. Ectotherms are animals or organisms whose body temperature is controlled or dependent on the outside environment temperature. So basically, ectotherms are members like reptiles, amphibians, and some fish, which are active depending on the environmental temperature. My name is Samson Moinde. Registration number is at 72877/2021. There are categories of the adaptations which include anatomical, biochemical, and biophysical. Basically, I'm going to tackle biochemical adaptation and how they adapted to their cold environment. So, as you know, cold environment involves temperature being lower than normal, which will give challenges to their enzymes, protein, and lipids. Lipids can freeze or turn into fat. So they control the liquid. They control the liquid using several mechanisms. For example, the orientation of the lipids can change such that they become adapted to cold temperature. They don't turn into fat. Their enzymes become adapted to cooler temperatures, and they can carry out reactions, making the animal to be active and alive during cold temperatures. Another thing they use is concentration of their cytoplasm or their body fluid with solids. This helps in lowering the body's fluid freezing point. As you know, when you add salt to water, the melting point of the water basically is lowered. So by doing so, they are able to make sure that their fluids remain at a fluid state and don't turn into solid during cooler temperatures. This is more effective as it is achieved by releasing fluid outside and making the solid be more concentrated. Hence, continuous fluidity of their body fluids, which helps them to carry out their biochemical reactions. I'm going to welcome my colleague Fundi. She will tackle
registration I-20-56-88-2016, and I'm going to tackle the physiological and the anatomical mechanism of the ectotherm. At the physiological, the lizard and the crocodile have subcutaneous vasoconstriction, where they minimize the blood flow towards the body surface, therefore minimizing excessive loss of heat. The bumblebees, they have shivering, which help them to produce heat, which help them in cold environment. The reptiles have pigment on their skin surface called chromatophore, which disappears in the they have the chromatophore, which disappears in the pseudopodia, thus helping them to minimize heat loss. Under anatomical, the oligochites, some have winter cysts, which help them to protect from the cold environment. The bumblebees have the hairy cuticle, which helps their body to insulate the cold environment.
Our registration numbers are E37/2895/2021, E37/2877/2021, and I-20/5688/2016. Thank you.
My name is registration number E37/2895/2021. I'll be tackling the behavioral mechanisms in ectotherms in response to cold environments. So to start with, is burrowing. Burrowing is seen in animals such as whereby they burrow inside the ground when the environment is too cold for them, so that they can acquire warmth from the soil. The second point is basking. In basking, there must be animals where so my second point is basking. This is seen in animals such as insects, whereby they bask under the sun so that they can acquire warmth from the sun in response to the cold environment. My third point is activities. Such is seen in animals like bees, where they are always active during the cold times or the cold times of the environment. My fourth point is on the crowding. Crowding can be seen in like bees in their hives as they engage in activities which make them more. Another one is physical contact. This can be seen in many ectotherms. By through physical contact, they can be able to interchange their warmth with one another. And my last point is about them staying in areas where they can gain warmth, e.g. in mosquito larvae, where they go to the sides of the pond so that they can at least get better temperatures than the ones in the pond itself. In conclusion, I'd like to conclude by saying that all these adaptations and features that have been stated by me and my colleagues are adaptations which are there to help the ectotherms to deal and be able to live. I've just discussed the adaptations of the ectotherms to the cold environments. These adaptations are meant to help them be more adapted to the environment so that they can survive in those environments.